All right, welcome back to Fleck of Socks, the podcast, episode 223. Today on the show, Daniel Penny was acquitted, but wait until you hear what BLM is saying in response. Then, Trump just got back from a trip to Europe where he was very well received. Then in Cringe of the Week, this person is crying over a haircut. You're not going to want to miss that. And last but not least, in Urban Decay, we have a story about a man who killed someone over a petty debt, even though that same man received a $4.1 million payout just a few years ago. We'll tell you why we're not surprised. All this and more, it's Fleck of Socks, the podcast, episode 223, ranked the best new podcast of all time.
Because words are just words until action actually starts. And actions speak louder than words. But at the same time, words speak louder than actions because sometimes it's the right thing to do. Very cool. Very cool.
It's Fleck of Socks, the podcast, featuring Richard Grab.
All right, one for one on the intro, as always. Guys, with the holidays approaching, our friends over at Undertack are picking things up a notch, giving you a chance to win $100,000 while you shop. It's the perfect time to stock up, especially because half of all Christmas shoppers buy underwear and socks as gifts. Our friends at Sierra Whiskey Co., makers of Undertack, the world's most comfortable tactical boxers, rugged EDC shirts, and ultra-tough socks, have partnered with Shared Sweeps to give you a chance at winning $100,000. Here's how it works. For every dollar you spend, you'll get one entry into the $100,000 giveaway, with some items giving you double or even triple entries. So the more you shop, the better your odds. Earn up to 10,000 entries just by buying gear that you and your family need and love. Just use code FLECKUSWIN at checkout, and that gets you entered and an extra 10% off site-wide. So whether you're grabbing Undertack boxers, which are 50% more moisture-wicking than cotton, or buying their American-made socks, hoodies, and t-shirts, you'll be entering to win big. Go to undertack.com today. That's undertac.com. Use code FLECKUSWIN for 10% off site-wide and to earn your entries. This giveaway ends December 31st at midnight. See their site for more details. It's linked in the description. Go get your holiday needs today. Thank you to Undertack for sponsoring. Let's get into housekeeping. All right. Thank you, Undertack, for sponsoring.
Thank you, Undertack.
Very cool. Chance to win $100,000. That's a very cool giveaway they do. They did the Jeep Gladiator a few months ago. They're up to some very cool things. Good time to stock your stuffings. Everyone loves getting underwear and socks for Christmas, even if it's a bit. Mm-hmm. Men need it, especially some of us. All right. It's a Tuesday show.
Yeah. You said stock your stuffings. So stuff your stockings is what you meant, right?
Hey.
It's kind of loose. Sometimes I go back and I'm editing like a social media clip for the show, and I'm just like, whoa. I said FBI instead of NBA like a week ago, and it's just like sometimes you just blow it. So
we're vibing it. We ballpark
fast and loose.
Fast and loose. That's why people like the show. It's real. Yeah. AI couldn't do that. AI couldn't say stock your stuffings.
Yeah. What was the thing you tripped up AI with last week? Grimsh. The Grimsh is your usual.
And then the Hungry Games.
Hungry Games. Yeah, you're really stopping them.
We're just proving we're not AI every week. Mm-hmm. All right, let's get into the show. We have a packed show. Nothing crazy, but we do have a lot of good stories. Great show.
Yeah.
Coming your way. Business as usual. It's Tuesday. We're in the middle of the week. We're going to be business as usual. First stories first. Assad flees Syria to Russia. Can you read the headline?
Yeah. The Syrian capital city of Damascus has fallen to rebel soldiers, and Syrian President Bashar al-Assad has fled to an unknown location on plane. All the remaining soldiers loyal to Assad are ordered to surrender, and we find out later he fled to Russia. He's in Russia right now.
Good for him.
You kind of do have to pull the cord every once in a while and get out and go to a friendly country and say, not my problem anymore.
Especially when it's like CIA deep state stuff.
Yeah.
It's like I believe Assad had like hundreds of thousands of soldiers, and then the rebels are 15,000. Mm-hmm. But somehow you lose that battle. Just go to Russia and live a nice life. Let Israel do whatever they're going to do.
Yeah, and Assad held down Syria for a while, and now it's falling in the hands of Stone Age, Al-Qaeda, and ISIS adjacent retards, basically. And so, little international chaos, maybe more refugees come in. This is what all the asylum seekers fled Syria because they would blame Assad. And now they're in Europe, knifing people at a German Christmas market, etc. So I guess it's time for those guys to go back, at least.
Yeah, now they're safe to go back.
Yeah.
But World War III, potentially, again, on a different front. Israel's trying to expand their borders, it seems like, on some Israel shit.
Oh, Israel takes some ground. They'll take
Yeah,
some ground.
they'll take some ground, and then I'm sure we'll be there to help out. Yeah. But Russia is a solid spot to flee to. I was thinking about fleeing to Russia if Kamala were to have stolen the 2024 election.
Yeah, yeah.
And then another reason why Russia outlaws Satanic Temple, deeming it undesirable and blasphemous of the traditional religious values.
Yeah.
Thank you, Putin. Very cool.
Yeah, Putin doesn't want any millennial-type Redditors just being antagonistic for no reason and being like, I'm a Satanic Temple member. Let's post on Reddit about this.
We can do your abortions.
Yeah, he's just like, nope, we're not doing that here. So good to see.
Good to see. All right, let's get into the story of the day, the one everyone's talking about. Daniel Penny acquitted of, I don't know, whatever he was charged for, a lot of stuff.
Manslaughter was number one, and then like negligent homicide was number two. And they did some not political, but legal maneuvering. The prosecutor kind of dropped the count one. They dismissed it because it seemed like the jury was deadlocked. And then they kind of dismissed that and said, let's just go to negligent homicide. And that ended up not working. But according to some legal people I follow on Twitter, that was not really a common move. It kind of was a rat maneuver.
Sounds like a rat maneuver.
Yeah.
So happy for him. They're still probably going to sue him civilly. Is that right?
I would imagine the scraps of Jordan Neely's family are looking for a little bit of a payout. So, and what I noticed afterwards, obviously it's a joyous day. The white man is back. They can't just you can't just accuse someone of being, a criminal because they interceded on an actual threat, just because he's white and you're some Israeli prosecutor or something. But he was kind of. There were some people who attempted to interview him afterwards, and he kind of like slinked away from the camera. Mm-hmm. So I think, which is part of the ongoing, like, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to gloat or whatever.
Yes, exactly. And then there were a lot of people having reactions in the court when it first happened. When he was found not guilty, the Daniel Penny side applauded, and then the judge was screaming, "Be quiet." And then Jordan Neely's side, they said he's going to be killed.
Yeah, and this is kind of like a half quote. Somebody said, "Gonna be killed." Like that's what someone heard who's doing courtroom reporting. And then the judge said, "Out." And then from the Neely side, "It's a small world, buddy. It's a racist country." So like they're chirping, They're chirping about like what? They're going to catch Daniel Penny in an alley. Bro, he's never setting foot in New York again.
I hope not.
Yeah.
And then here's what they were saying outside afterwards. This is a BLM, one of the BLM founders, I believe.
Yeah, from the New York chapter, I think.
We need some black vigilantes.
That's right.
People want to jump up and choke us and kill us for being loud. How about we do the same when they attempt to oppress us?
Right.
I'm tired.
Yeah, so we need black vigilantes.
Yeah,
that's what Daniel Penny was. He was a vigilante in a corrupt system of New York where repeat offenders weren't being locked up and they were continuing to harass and assault people. Daniel Penny stepped up, was a vigilante, and stopped it. So it's ironic hearing them call for vigilantes. That's what it was. It's just your guys' guy was the violent criminal.
Also, when BLM, whenever they start talking about stuff like this, the key phrase in that speech is when they want to do it to us. And it's like everybody's relating to Jordan Neely, the guy who gets on the subway and starts yelling and threatening and kind of is
I'm
on
going to kill everybody.
I'm going to kill him. That's us. That's the collective us. And what do you think? I think BLM doesn't have it in them anymore. They don't have the machine. They don't have the anger. They're tired out. This is like month 3 of like the Occupy Wall Street movement. It's like, yeah, we're not getting anything done. So I don't think they have the stamina left anymore. I don't think anything's really going to happen.
I don't think so. And they don't really have the funding and the social power anymore either. Everyone kind of got tired after George Floyd.
Yeah.
And then
that being said, if you're a white guy in New York, head on a swivel tonight, head on a swivel for the next couple days.
For sure. But then the guy was getting mad about how like Jordan Neely was killed. There was no consequences. So I guess like the only people that are allowed to kill black people without anyone talking about it are other black people.
Yeah, gang members. And it's funny because if you applied this sort of level of passion and, there's a news interview on the court footsteps, the steps of the court, Like, imagine if they had that energy for every random like shooting or a drive-by or something. It's like the neighborhood would get cleaned up pretty quick.
Yeah, Daniel Penny's not your guys' problem.
Yeah, he'll never do it again. There's no chance of reoffending. He's just some guy. He's probably going to avoid the subway. We need to give him some Uber money. Stay off public transit. But yeah, it's hilarious to see this level.
Yeah, and they're not able to do like the George Floyd part 2, though.
Yeah.
It's nice to see that. And then it's weird that, they're saying he's just like us. This is our struggle. Why is Jordan Neely and George Floyd like black criminals? Why is that everyone's struggle?
I don't know. And it's obviously not. And that's the psyop. I guess everyone who's saying that is kind of admitting like, oh, yeah, I'm a petty criminal who's willing to escalate things if I get called out and caught. Yeah,
I got a rap sheet.
And then I will get loud afterwards and I will resist arrest. And that's all normal, right?
Yeah. And then to wrap up this Daniel Penny story, Phil Mickelson was tweeting in his favor.
Random. Phil Mickelson waded into the political discourse. He didn't have to. He's extremely rich, I guess, so that's more reason to. But he was just kind of tweeting multiple times about Daniel Penny. He said, "Thank you, Daniel Penny, for serving your country and for protecting the many passengers whose lives were threatened by this violent and deranged individual."
Thank you, Phil Mickelson. Go buy a Phil Mickelson jersey.
Yeah. Dude, support Phil. And then last thing, too, Daniel Penny obviously got acquitted, went out for beers with his lawyer.
That's a good beer.
You know how people are always debating, a shower beer, a vacation beer, a baseball game in the summertime beer. What's the best beer?
Airport beer.
Yeah, exactly. I think getting acquitted in a Soros DA district on a manslaughter charge, that might be the best beer.
That's the best beer one can have.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to another story that's actually somewhat related, believe it or not. I'm going to wrap it all together. The guy who shot the UnitedHealth CEO, he's been identified and apprehended, I believe. Can we show the picture? We have a picture of him here.
He's Luigi Mangione. He's an Italian kid.
He went to Penn. He was valedictorian of his high school.
Looks pretty good. He looks like a
Fit
normal
guy,
kid.
smart.
Not as dysgenic as the usual school shooter.
Yeah, it's very interesting. But the aftermath of the shooting, since it happened last week to now, there's been a lot of weird stuff socially about it.
Yeah.
Like these people were making T-shirts. Here's that clip where they're showing the moment it happened and says deny, defend, depose. So they made T-shirts for it.
Someone getting murdered.
And then they also had a look-alike contest in Washington Square Park in New York.
I did hear about it at 11 o'clock this morning. And I was like,
You get it.
You get it.
Yeah.
So no one cares that an innocent man was just shot dead in the middle of the day. I mean, in broad daylight in New York City. No one cares about that. And I think it's the same reason that they wanted to lock up Daniel Penny. And it's because it's about being anti-white. And I don't think you're going to hear that take on most shows. But white people need to pay is the energy. So if the CEO was black or non-binary or pans or whatever, there'd be an uproar. You know what I'm saying?
It wouldn't be as celebrated for sure.
But because
he could be an evil black board member who's like a corporate raider who everybody universally hates, and it still would be less celebrated than this one did.
Exactly. Sure. But he's white, so people laugh because white people are bad and we need to get back at white people. But if Jordan Neely was white, no one would care.
Yeah.
And if Daniel Penny was black, no one would care.
Yeah.
Innocent white is guilty. Guilty criminal blacks are innocent.
Yeah, and I mean, this one was more healthcare related, so I get your point, but it's definitely more animosity towards like the system and like what people see as a bad system. But it's just like, it's very weird. Like you almost lose your ground to talk about anything if you think random extrajudicial assassinations are just like okay, you know? It's like whatever, it's interesting, and then you learn about the shooter, and then you'll stop caring in a day after you hear some information. But like the people idolizing it, it's very weird. It's very leftist.
But you would agree that no one would be doing the T-shirts or the lookalike contest if the CEO was black.
Sure, maybe.
And then no one would care about Daniel Penny if he was black, or if Jordan Neely was white.
Sure. That one more. I'm talking. The UnitedHealth CEO is a little different. I'm saying they're not as connected as you think. But I definitely agree that the black and white, the racial component of it definitely accelerates or mitigates how much enthusiasm there is.
Exactly. And then they make jokes about us and white people, which is why I'm constantly making the George Floyd jokes and the George Floyd shirts.
That's smart.
We should have a Jordan Neely lookalike contest.
Oh,
that would be fun.
The lookalike contest is becoming a new like Gen Z like overplayed thing. They did like a Timothy Chalamet, the guy from The Bear, Jeremy Allen White. They did that lookalike in Chicago. Now they're just doing it for random shit, whatever pops up. That's going to get played out really quick.
Yep. All right. Anything else on this story before we move on?
Yeah. I mean, the guy, he looks like a normal guy. From what we know now is he was smart, a high-achieving student. He seems to have had some major back surgery.
And that made him go crazy, apparently.
That he may have gone a little crazy. He withdrew from his friend groups. There was a tweet, someone asking like, hey, dude, you're in my wedding. Like, I can't even get in touch with you. Are you going to honor your commitments? That's kind of like a Fleckus thing, withdrawing like, yeah, sounds fun. That's what Fleckus does.
Someone tells me plans I don't want to do. I just go, oh, that sounds really fun.
That sounds fun.
And they think vague. I'm going.
It's non-committal.
You look back and play it back. All I said was it sounds fun.
But so he's withdrawn a little bit. He may have done it with ghost guns that were 3D printed. We're not positive on that yet. He was caught in a McDonald's with multiple fake IDs. So he was kind of just on the run a little bit. And, I think the broader point is this guy, like, he might be a folk hero to, like, trans people on Twitter or something, but you're just going to have to go to prison for the rest of your life. So what's the point? You're not some hero. There's a new CEO already. There's an acting CEO right now. So these people who kind of think they're going to make a huge difference or whatever, you have to do the time in the cell. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. There's nothing to be gained here. This guy, he's like a handsome, young, fit guy, threw away his life for what? For leftists to like you online. I don't know.
Exactly. All right. Well, that's the end of that story. We're moving on to our politics section. Trump just got back from his trip to Europe.
Yeah.
Where everyone really liked him. Yeah. We have photos of him and Jill Biden's fawning over him. We have a clip here.
Look at all the eyes on him in this room. Everyone's waiting to see what this maniac will do.
Mm-hmm. Everyone's coming over to kiss the ring. Everyone likes him. Yeah. And remember during the election, we can't elect Trump. Our foreign relations will get so bad. He's crazy. No one knows what he's going to do. Everyone hates him. He's elected. Everyone's not playing that game anymore. They want to like him. They're scared of him, and they're coming over and showing respect.
Yeah, and it's one thing if Trump's foreign policy in his first term was one of my favorites. He was like kind of wild. He was just making threats. And then like when the most powerful country on earth makes a threat and you're just Italy and you have the GDP that's half of California, you have to go, oh my God, sorry, sir. Like being on your heels or being unpredictable, like Trump being unpredictable and putting these people on their heels and like on their back foot, it's great. I love it. Everyone's like, oh, okay, I don't want to upset him. Maybe I'll just give him something. Maybe I'll just concede on something first. And, when we have a Joe Biden or like a normal president who's just kind of a placeholder, everyone just goes, okay, yeah, we'll just shake some hands, take some pictures. Nothing's changing foreign policy.
We're going to scalp you wherever we can behind your back.
Yeah, we're going to keep importing our cars into your country, but not bringing in your cars into our country. And, we're going to keep ripping you off, right?
We actually have a picture here of the departing Biden administration. They're getting ready to go.
Yeah.
And here's it looks like a closing meeting where people are about to leave office.
Yep. Yeah.
Sorry to see you go, guys.
In Europe as well, Trump just brings Elon. He brings Elon around. And I'm seeing a big point of like leftist people online is like, how do you guys feel? How do you Trump people feel about Elon being so involved? And like Vivek and other people who like weren't elected. And it's like, I love it.
Those are good guys.
Yeah, they're smart and they're going to fulfill the agenda. Like, what are you talking about? That's like all they have right now. And I'm kind of laughing at it, right?
Yeah, good to see. Yeah. And then Trump had a interview where he was talking about birthright citizenship and kind of his plan for immigration. Can you let that one play?
You promised to end birthright citizenship on day one. Is that still your plan?
Yeah, absolutely.
The 14th Amendment, though, says that, quote, all persons born in the United States are citizens. Can you get around the 14th Amendment with an executive action?
We're going to have to get a change. We'll maybe have to go back to the people, but we have to end it. We're the only country.
Good. You should end it.
Yeah. And so that was the Meet the Press interview. Obviously, he's talking about anchor babies. He's not talking about anybody who, is really a citizen. And the interviewer, obviously, the 14th Amendment just doesn't say anybody born in this square patch of land is a U.S. citizen. It says all persons born all persons born in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof shall be citizens of the United States. So it seems like a pretty key sentence. I don't think, the people who wrote this sentence down said, oh, any Mexican who can jump over, crap out a baby,
you're in, that works.
In their first 2 days here is a citizen, or a rich, wealthy Chinese person who times up their birth with their trip to America. That's not really how it goes, and that's how it is being abused right now.
Exactly. And there's so many situations like that where the founding fathers wrote what they wrote, but then they never could have imagined like mass migration by the millions just walking across the border and coming across from the Middle East to North Africa or whatever.
That would never happen, Thomas Jefferson says to John Quincy Adams, and then like all of a sudden Hillary Clinton's in charge of something, and then it does, right?
Exactly. All right, we're moving.
But we'll see. We'll see how that, there is at least, that was Mike Lee who was tweeting that, and he says that Congress has a claim to that definition. Congress has the power to define what it means to be born in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof. So we'll see. I think Trump would probably make an executive order and then have that challenged at the Supreme Court level. Something like that could be how it plays out. And obviously the Supreme Court, we know who will be mad and who will be yapping, Ketanji Brown Jackson.
Yep.
And it might just go 6-3,
Exactly. All right, moving on. Good news out of California. There was a clean sweep for MAGA, 7-0 in Huntington Beach. The city council is all MAGA. City attorney is MAGA. City clerk and city treasurer are MAGA as well. There they are wearing MAGA hats.
Yeah.
Love to see that. California's not dead yet.
Yeah, it's close.
It's very close.
And, Gavin Newsom might punish this city somehow or withhold funds. But, yeah, I mean, there are pockets. And, Orange County, right? Isn't that
very red.
Trending red? So, I don't know, man.
Hoping for the best there. Speaking of elections, we have a little bit of a Carrie Lake, I don't want to say update, but it's a recommendation.
Yeah.
Carrie Lake has trouble winning, and I obviously don't think that the Arizona elections are fair. I think there's a lot of weird stuff going on.
Me neither.
A lot of people bought off by the cartel. Very sketchy operations. That being said, look at Carrie Lake with long hair.
She looks great.
You have an easier chance of what's it called when they beat beat the election when it's rigged?
Too big to rig?
Too big to rig. You can too big to rig it when you have hair like that.
I know. The short haircut is not good.
And then that's what Megyn Kelly did when she was going like against Trump and woke. She had that stupid short hair.
Yeah.
And now she's an elegant woman.
Yeah.
So there's some advice. Last piece of our politics section, David Sachs will be a White House AI and crypto czar.
Yeah.
Congratulations to David Sachs.
He was a strong proponent for Trump, and he's getting rewarded. And again, it's another smart guy. It's like, oh, David Sachs wasn't elected. You happy, MAGA? You happy he's in there? And it's like, yeah, what do I care?
So true.
Great.
Like
He's a normal, rational guy who's smart and successful, right?
Mm-hmm. All right, well, that's the end of our politics section. Make sure you guys use the opportunity to tickle the post. Help us juice the algo. Leave a like, leave a comment again, then start yapping. P.O. Box needs to be full. It's Christmas time. Notifications need to be on, and old episodes need to be watched. We are into the final page of Housekeeping already, which is my page, where I can talk about whatever I want. First thing I like to show you guys, I'm not even going to tell you what it is. We're just going to play it. Plane came in, crashed into the birds. That's some real Angry Bird shit right there.
It's a bird strike, and I did not know they bounced off the nose of the plane like this.
I didn't know what that would look like, and that's why I showed it.
And I've seen a lot of birds get sucked into the engines. That's how Sully had to land in the water.
Yeah.
But I didn't know they bounced off the front like that. I
Yeah.
had no clue.
Well, there you go. Next, we showed a couple weeks ago the gas tanker exploding, and we let everyone know it's not something you have to be fully scared of because it's not that bad. Mm-hmm. You can just keep going and drive around it. We have another example of one of those. So a lumber truck falls off. Looks like a movie.
Yeah.
But you see, everyone just pulls over and they're fine. And even the guy who got hit by all the lumber, he just kind of got pushed to the side. It sucks. Your car's fucked up, but you're okay.
Oh, those are like 2x4s. Those aren't logs. That's like longer than 2x4s, but that's not that crazy. If it was full trees, a logging truck versus a wood truck, you're in trouble.
We'll keep an eye out for that.
Yeah. That's Final Destination shit, as you guys have all known.
Exactly. All right, next is our Joey Chestnut story. Here he is eating 21 pounds of shrimp cocktail.
3, 2, 1, go! On his third of St. Elmo's cocktail sauce around him. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Put down your shrimp cocktail. Patrick, stay with your food. Everyone stay with you. The winner with 21 pounds, a new world record of St. Elmo's shrimp cocktail, Joey Chestnut!
21-pound swing.
21 pounds. Heavier, full of shrimp, like a seal or something.
That's like some sort of whale does that.
I don't want to be vulgar, but imagine what his shits are like.
Yeah, that's not even vulgar. And that's obviously where everyone's mind goes. My mind goes to a different spot. Why do all the food contest people wear this type of hat?
That's nice. That's tradition, yeah.
I know.
That's Americana.
I don't know. Good for Joey. I mean, what do you do at this point? You keep stuffing it. This has got to be doing long-term damage to the body, too. You can't keep stuffing it. You can't keep stretching it.
Stretching it's probably bad.
Stretching it. He's all fucked up, probably. I don't know.
Yeah. And then, I don't know. Imagine you have him over for the holidays. Oh, we have turkey, ham, and then for you, we have 3 gallons of gravy you could just slurp up.
This is not your best work. Imagine the shits and then imagine him for the holidays. Whoa, we ate it all. This is like 4th grade bits.
Oh, thank you. Do you think he's the best to ever do it?
Yeah, him and Kobayashi fell off. Joey Chestnut stands alone.
So he's the best to ever eat.
Yeah.
And that's like a thing that's been going on since time began.
And I would imagine, well, you know, there's always someone like Andre the Giant who can drink 100 beers or something.
That's a good point.
So that's a different breed. But he's the best pound for pound.
And Joey Chestnut, as you guys know, we've mentioned on the show, he did sell out to a vegan fake meat company.
I remember, yeah.
So not happy. But I will admit he is the best to ever do it. It's an honest show.
Yeah.
All right, speaking of food, I saw this tweet and I thought it was pretty interesting. Can you give it a read?
When something says it needs 2 minutes in the microwave but 40 minutes in the oven, it does make you think a little bit about what the fuck is going on in the microwave.
That's a very good point. It's a little too powerful.
Yeah.
I'm starting to wonder about what's going on in the microwave.
Don't they just heat up the water molecules, though? Isn't that what it is? It zaps the water molecules and then those get hot? Maybe it's just pure technology that was a breakthrough.
Potentially radioactive?
Maybe in small doses. I don't know. What if it's a true breakthrough and we're slandering it for no reason?
Microwaves are on my watch list.
Okay.
I don't trust. I think if you had the choice, you should always use a stovetop or an oven as opposed to nuking it in the microwave. Doesn't seem natural. Doesn't seem right. Okay, moving on. Jay-Z got accused of RAPE with P. Diddy in a civil lawsuit going back to 2000.
Yeah.
And then MIA, who is the singer, Get High Like Paper, Get Try Like Planes, that song.
Yeah.
She had a video where she was talking about this, and she recently has become a Christian, it sounds like.
Yeah.
And she called them out. Listen to what she said.
I met Jay-Z and I signed to Rock Nation. The first thing he told me to do is get plastic surgery. I'm not insecure because I would have got plastic surgery. People make it, they all can turn around and thank Beyonce because that's it. And enough is enough. I'm fucking coming for everyone now. And even Adele, because she's retired now, but her career would not exist if I hadn't made Jonathan Dickens into a manager. And bitch, when she gets an award, she thanks Beyonce. Oh, I didn't want to drip myself in blood and cover myself and swim in goop, in black goop, and fucking like wear devil horns to fucking sell a record. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's coming for everyone.
Yeah.
I like to see it. I thought you guys would enjoy that. And so Jay-Z seems like he's going to be getting into some trouble potentially. Obviously, more names are probably going to come out. He's been preparing for distracting the guards. I found a clip of him online. It looks like he's dancing to try and distract the guards. So this is what he's going to be doing in the cell to distract the guards.
Yeah, that's his routine while Beyonce goes and steals the key off a hook like an old 1950s sheriff movie. Yeah. This is what Jay-Z's up to.
That's what he's up to.
I get it.
All right.
To be fair, Jay-Z also did issue a scathing reply about how the lawyer was opportunistic and stuff. So there are two sides. Jay-Z's fighting it. He's obviously not going, shoot, you got me on that 13-year-old at 2000. So I don't know.
We'll see what happens.
It's just, it's being reported, you know. MIA, I believe some of that goop shit. That sounded interesting.
Satanic.
Blood and devil horns and everyone thanks Beyonce.
That's the part that rings true to me, too.
Yeah.
Next, orca whales have started wearing dead salmon hats again after a 37-year hiatus.
Wearing a salmon on your head is back in fashion for orcas after a 37-year break. In 1987, there was a strange trend amongst killer whales. Recent sightings show it's back in fashion.
So they have stuff they like.
They like to accessorize. They like to play with their food. Photographers stunned by orcas wearing dead salmon as hats. I don't get it. What could it be?
One did it a while ago, then they all started copying, and then it spread to everyone. I think it's kind of like meme coins for whales.
I think it's a sign of abundance. They're like, look, I can do whatever I want. I don't even need to eat this shit.
Yeah.
All right.
Very cool. Just want to let you guys know.
That's all you got?
That's it.
Yeah, imagine Joey Chestnut. He'd probably eat the salmon. That's your level of shit today.
Okay. Our next story is actually really interesting. Remember the other day we talked about the Men in Black and how they visited Niagara Falls when there was like a UFO sighting or something? Mm-hmm. I left out a key piece of information. Can you read the tweet?
Did anyone in New Jersey, this person's asking if anyone in New Jersey who has witnessed the alleged drones/UFOs asked if they got visited by tall men in black with weird facial features. Example, no eyebrows recently.
So the Men in Black also don't have eyebrows.
Okay.
I just wanted to let you guys know, because sometimes you can see a guy in a suit with the hat and maybe he's not a man in black, but if he has no eyebrows, that's probably who you're dealing with.
Okay, fair.
All right, next we're in our alien section now. As you can probably guess, this is another UFO footage from an airplane cockpit. So as you can see, here comes this orb flying across the bottom of the screen. What is it? I don't know. It looks like it's moving fast.
That's one of the clearer ones I've seen.
Yeah, so there it is. It's another orb.
All right. Was that recent, do you know? Or
I don't know. I saw it online recently, so it still counts.
Because I feel like we're culminating towards something, and I'm getting tired of covering alien shit without getting to an end point. You know what I mean?
I think it's coming.
I want to get satisfied.
We're getting, the alien stuff is being rolled out.
Okay.
I think as we speak.
All right.
And it's been going around for a long time. If you do a mirror image of Leonardo da Vinci's St. John the Baptist painting, you see an alien.
Yeah.
And the guy's pointing to it.
Da Vinci was always hiding shit. You see the Da Vinci Code? You read that book?
One of my favorite movies. I think the most history I've ever learned is from that dog Wishbone and then the Da Vinci Code.
There you go. I don't know the Wishbone shit.
Oh, maybe that was, what's the Nicolas Cage one? National Treasure.
National Treasure, yeah.
That was what I learned the
That
most
was a
from.
sneaky history lesson. And then, Benjamin Franklin's got these glasses. Yeah.
The glasses. I learned all about that stuff. Yeah. All right, our last...
Taking all the wrong lessons. Yeah, there's something on the back of the Declaration. And then these glasses, they're hidden in the brick in Philadelphia.
And that Declaration is probably from, I don't know, 200-300 years ago. Yeah. It's like the dates when you don't learn. And I found this video. We talked last week about the types of aliens. You got the bug ones, the lizard ones, the Nordic ones, and then the grays. This video is pretty compelling if you know that.
And if you do not know we exist, then how can you protect yourself from us?
Pretty compelling considering those are all the types of aliens we talked about.
Yeah. AI is good for the alien industry. Make good graphics like that, have fun.
So,
never have to get anything right.
Well, yeah. While it's compelling, also, how does a bug make a spaceship?
That's true. They need a opposable thumb henchman. So maybe that's where humans come in.
That's where it loses me.
I'm getting tired of the alien stuff until we get some new shit.
Yeah. All right, back to the drawing board. Send us new shit if you guys have it. Yeah. Let's work on it. Well, that is the end of housekeeping. We're moving on to Cringe of the Week. Before we go to Cringe of the Week, we have a very special message from our dear friend, Farmer Bill. Guys, Christmas is coming, and you know what your loved ones don't really need? More stuff. You probably have stuff packed in your attics and closets as it is, and usually that stuff is plastic crap that comes from China. So instead of buying more made-in-China plastic stuff, why not get the loved ones in your life what they really want? Pasture-raised American beef. Farmer Bill's is offering a 15% discount on their original and spicy beef biltong slabs. These slabs are the perfect gift. They're a pound and usually come in 1 or 2 big pieces with clean ingredients. It's just beef, sea salt, apple cider vinegar, and spices. The slabs are succulent and juicy. They have a perfect marbling of fat, and they go great in charcuterie boards, great with cheese, or great for just snacking around the house this holiday season. All of Farmer Bill's beef is pasture-raised in South Dakota with no added hormones or antibiotics, and your package should arrive within 5 days of placing your order. So secure this deal today and order now. Use code FLECKUS15 at checkout for 15% off of your order. And the grass-fed tallow bombs are fantastic stocking stuffers as well. FarmerBillsProvisions.com is the website. It's linked in the description. FLECKUS15 is the code at checkout for 15% off. Let's support the people who support the show and pick up a fantastic gift for Christmas.
Farmer Bill's Provisions, the perfect protein snack.
All right, our first clip from Cringe of the Week is the person crying before they get a haircut.
I don't even know why I panicked so hard.
It's okay.
It's just hair.
I mean, no, it's not. Are you ready?
Can I cry about it first?
Totally.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are you feeling good about it?
I'm trusting the process.
Okay. You ready?
I know if I leave with the same haircut I've had, I'm going to be disappointed in myself. And it's like time to do something new.
Yeah.
Okay. Everything's fine and we're all fine.
We're all doing great.
We're all doing great and everything's fine.
You can cry the whole time. It's okay.
All right. Let me paint a picture for you guys. You're on the interstate. It's a foggy morning. There's an ice patch. It's cold. There's snow everywhere. Your car slides into a 20-car pileup. Everyone's crashing. No one can see. And they're just full speed crashing one after another. Another car's coming. We got to get out of here.
What do we do? Do we stay in the car or do we leave?
This person's no help.
This person's a total fucking net drag on the whole operation. And substitute that extremely specific situation for any stressful situation, and they're equally no help in any of them.
Yeah, you're at the grocery store and you're trying to get a 2-for-3 deal on a 12-pack of Fresca, and they say, hey, can you get another one? This barcode doesn't work.
Yeah.
No help. Can't run back and get back before the person behind them gets frustrated with how long you're taking. No help.
Yeah, the restaurant bill is like $73.41 or something, and this person's trying to calculate a 20% tip. They panic. No, I can't even remove the decimal.
Yeah, just, I don't know. These types, I think, should just stay at home and live with their parents forever.
There's a lot of enabling going on in these lesbian and genderless and trans haircut places. They get off on it, and they film, and it's like kind of like a, it's almost incentivizes the crying and the stuff. They're like, oh, let me just set up my camera, hit record. And it's like they kind of talk about each other's feelings too much. It's like the Wicked press tour, You're kind of like forced to come up with some sort of moment. You're crying about the haircut? What's the worst that can happen? Here, let's skip ahead to what's the worst.
Let's skip to the reveal. So there's the before and...
Oh.
No crying now?
That's when you should be crying. You got the fucked up shitty haircut now.
Yeah.
Poor girl, right?
Yeah.
Very sensitive person. Too sensitive. Can't even go through life. And this is how you end up on the fucking podcast.
That's so true. And I actually found a video of birds behaving a certain way that I thought we could relate to this. So basically, what's the context of this? Basically, I think an injured...
A bird was sick or injured, and then people gave it food.
And then the other birds saw that, and now look what the other birds do. So they all pretend to be hurt. They're laying down.
And this healthy bird comes over and goes, I'm fucked up too. Give me the snacks.
Yep. And that's pretty much what the other girl's doing too. It's like weaponized empathy. Like, people are naturally good or want to be good, and then you kind of victimize yourself and make yourself a victim. But in reality, you're like a narcissistic psycho.
Yeah. Something's going on. Something's bad. And you're filming. Everybody knows.
Exactly. All right, let's get to our next story. Somewhat related. The parents of a trans kid at a rally explaining why they're there.
Yeah, this is a rally outside of D.C. because the Supreme Court is currently weighing in on the Tennessee minor transgender ban, which the Tennessee state legislature put into place. And, that little trans lawyer is like fighting it. So this is from right outside D.C.
What motivated you to come out here today?
We're supporting our child, Violet, and her access to the medical care that she needs.
Yeah, we're here for her rights and her ability to be who she is. And she's not going to let anybody silence her, and we're not going to stand in her way.
What state are you from?
Arizona.
Okay. Are you concerned about how this case would affect Arizona, or do you think that would have an impact there?
Yes, 100% we're concerned, and we've discussed having to move, which we don't want to do, but Violet comes first, and her medical care and her medical needs come first, so we'll see what happens.
And what age do you think most trans kids determine that they're trans?
Violet told us when she was 1.5. She's been telling us since she could speak.
Imagine listening to a baby.
1.5, just learned a few words. Then what? Immediately goes to I'm girl. You only need 2 words.
And then this dad, who should be the head of the household, he's got nothing better to do than to entertain this shit. You don't have like a shitty car in the garage you can fix up or something?
Bro, you can get a 1973 GTO. Start work on it slow. You don't even have to make that much progress. Hang out in the garage, drink beers, get your friends over. This is the farthest thing from what you should be doing. Going to a parade for trans toddlers. It's not even trans kids, it's toddlers.
Yeah. And then
Violet.
When I see this, it makes me very happy to have grown up with a football dad.
Yeah.
Who was like a gigantic person. There's photos of him playing football on the wall in the house. Way better than whatever this situation is.
Tech pussy future dad who got bullied by the wife. I don't even know how to categorize him, but
it's very sick stuff. And then this next person who gave a speech at that same rally kind of gives you some more insight into the mindset of the parents.
I think the greatest gift of my life is to have kids, and to have a transgender child has made me so much more interesting.
Sicko.
Absolute sicko. Said the quiet part out loud. That's all she's got. Otherwise, she's just a normal grandma. Now she's got a cause. She's got meetings to go to. There's a whole ecosystem that pops up around this, right?
And then that clip carries on as well, and that lady makes a pretty telling point.
And for the Supreme Court justices, I encourage them to talk to their kids, their grandkids, their nieces and nephews. Because I'll bet if they really sit down and ask them, do you know trans kids around you? Do you have any non-binary friends? They're going to say yes.
Yeah. So listening to kids is the advice. Supreme Court justices listen to children.
Some of the most brilliant legal minds in America need to listen to an emotional 6-year-old for something, right?
Who doesn't understand anything or how the world works. And then like traditionally, parents and adults and teachers and relatives would kind of instill their values and lessons onto children. So we go like adults to children.
Yeah.
But now they're trying to like wrap it back around and have children teach adults, but the children don't know anything. It's just bad adults laundering like sketchy ideas through children who are now telling parents that's what they want.
Yeah. So it's like adult A with an agenda tells the child something. And now that child is supposed to influence adult B, their relative. So it goes down and then back up.
And then this lady goes, listen to kids.
Yeah.
The ones that we told this weird stuff to.
Exactly. So it's an adult point of view that just gets laundered through a kid. And then like at no point should a kid be influencing you either way. But it's just an absolutely laundered point, and it has nothing to do with like what's true or right. It's not like a self-evident truth that a kid saw and discovered.
It's so obvious.
Yeah,
so even a kid knows.
It's like some weird thing that has to be taught. It's not like universally observed or anything like that.
Yeah, so parents, listen to your kids who have a weird adult in their life whispering sketchy sex stuff to them.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's the end of Cringe of the Week. We're now moving on to Urban Decay, where we have some pretty crazy stories. Our first one is a man murdered somebody over a few $1,000s.
Yeah, the headline says a Philly man was awarded $4.1 million by the city for an overturned murder conviction, and now he is pleading guilty to killing a man for $1,200. So
Crazy. So he had $4.1 million. He got paid out a few years ago, and he's still up to his stupid ways and killed somebody over $1,200.
And it was over a drug deal. It was a crack cocaine drug deal where someone disrespected him, and so he hopped out of a car and shot him several times, and now he's going to go back. Although he spent most of his middle age in prison, now he's headed back.
Mm-hmm. And then you look at that story and you go, oh, this doesn't make any sense. The dollar amount's so small. Why would you kill somebody? And you kind of say it again. It doesn't make any sense. The dollar amount is so small. Why would you kill somebody? It's kind of like in Home Alone when he realizes that he's away from his family. He's like, my family's in Florida and I'm in New York. My family's in Florida and I'm in New York.
He looks on the bright side. And in this one, it's like, so the guy's just a piece of shit through and through. It didn't matter the dollar amount or how much he has. It's someone disrespected me and I had to play up. I had to do the street justice, right?
Even though he had money. He got millions of dollars in a payout, but he's still doing dumb street shit, which is kind of a tale as old as time. We see that with the football players and the basketball players. They still do hood, stupid street shit, even though they're rich.
And $4.1 million for somebody who's in the Philly hood, that's like $30 million for someone like us. You know?
A normal person.
That goes a long way. And then here's a tweet from Wayne Burkett. He says, I'm seeing a lot of takes that focus on the amount of money involved. That's to fundamentally misunderstand the mind of this kind of criminal. It's about respect. You can't let somebody take advantage of you like that. It diminishes you as a man. So you got street rules. You don't have like a high level above you thing where you go, gee, I'm better than this. I'm walking away from the situation. I'll never deal with that man again. There's like a corny white guy point of view where it's like, well, I just found out the cost of that friendship was $1,200. Good riddance. And then you never go to jail with that point of view, right?
Yep, but not here.
And then also just, I don't know the exact super details of his conviction, but a lot of these people, we've gone onto the Innocence Project and stuff like that, and we've kind of shit on it and say some of them, they get thrown out, they get their convictions overturned on flimsy stuff or like just one piece of unknown DNA evidence when like there's 3 eyewitnesses and X amount of evidence against a defendant, but then there's some other little unidentified DNA, and it's 15 or 20 years later. And, there's kind of like a time thing that goes with it. So this guy who killed again, his conviction was vacated by a judge on appeal in 2017 after documents emerged showing that detectives knew Thomas had a potential alibi, but did not try to verify it. The investigators zeroed in on Thomas based on statements made by 2 alleged co-conspirators whose stories shifted and who later recanted their testimony. And so it's like we're not talking about like, oh, the knife was found in a different killer's house. It's like, yeah, the cops didn't do their due diligence on whether or not this guy's alibi existed.
He probably did the first murder too.
Exactly, and I'm glad you brought that up because this next quote I'm going to read, when he hopped out of the car and shot this guy over the $1,200 crack debt, it's the woman who was with him who kind of connected the crack deal said, as they drove back to Delaware, she said Thomas made an eerie remark about his past. He said it's his 3rd homicide, and he said he can't go back to jail, she said. 1, 2, 3, and then, but that was a wrongful conviction or something.
And then they still got him $4 million.
And then this guy did it at the age of 50. He's 50 going around killing people over crack. So you're just so far gone, dude.
We need vigilantes.
Yeah. But then again, like this kind of falls into something we've been talking about, which is, and obviously a wrongful murder. If you really did serve a ton of time for a crime you didn't commit, that one where his alibi wasn't vetted is pretty flimsy. But we pay him out $4 million just for him to kill somebody again. Now what does the city owe to that guy who he killed? For wrongfully releasing him or whatever, There's a trail of like a single criminal killing people, and then we owe you $4 million. That's only $2 million, and the taxpayers do it. We have another story that I just want to say because we've been talking about the litigious black community recently. The family of Missouri teen Tyree Sampson, who fell to his death from Orlando amusement park ride, was awarded $310 million recently.
That's a lot.
And you should get something. You fell off an amusement park ride. Somebody broke the law. You were too fat to fit. And then you fall out. You die. $310 million?
Josh, very litigious.
Josh Allen doesn't even get that over 10 years. You know?
That's a good point.
So what's this kid going to do? He was fat. He probably wasn't even going to make it that long.
Yeah. But the litigious is the theme here, where there's a lot of suing going on. And basically, in that first example, like, he probably did the murder. They didn't do the due diligence correctly, and then you still make $4 million because of it, even though you probably did the murder.
And then you get like this reprieve where you probably did the murder, and holy shit, I'm free, and they're slapping $4 million in the palm of my hand. What am I going to do? I'm going to kill another guy.
I'm going to do the same shit I've been doing.
So you take the dog out of the park, but it's still a dog, you know? He had it in him. He was going to be doing that type of street shit no matter what. $1,200. Whoa, if I had $4 million, I would never do that. Yeah, you're you. You're not breaking any laws anyway, pretty much.
Exactly. You have impulse control.
Exactly.
All right, next we have some people who don't have impulse control. There's a fight at Chuck E. Cheese in Fullerton.
This is Chicago.
Oh, Fullerton Street. Glad Mr. Cheese isn't here to see how far the establishment has fallen.
Charles Entertainment Cheese would be spinning in his grave if he saw what was going on here. And also, these people are doing this, like, it seems to be barking at each other and escalating while the cops are there. Isn't while the cops are there the time, like, okay, we went too far, let's just step back.
What exactly happened? Well,
Yeah, and then they keep just chirping at each other. And then Chuck E. Cheese, their slogan, where a kid can be a kid. Unless there's several overweight black single moms there yelling and shouting.
Unless someone disrespect their cousin.
Yeah, what could the fight possibly be about, guys? So, you know, that's just like, oh yeah, on Fullerton and Wood Street. It's like, gone, see ya.
Yeah, all right.
We go to Schaumburg for the Chuck E. Cheese now.
And then speaking of, we mentioned before the litigious black people, and that's kind of like a name that could be a black name. We've been going over that and we have like a running list now, and people have been sending us some good ones. And we have it on from their tweets. Tibia and Fibia, day twins.
That's twins. Yeah, Tibia and Fibia.
Tibia and Fibia.
Get a stroller, two-person stroller. That's Tibia in front, Fibia in the back, just like on the leg.
Dayquil.
Dayquil, yep.
Anesthesia, Dijon, Epiphany, Quintillion, Aquarius, Quadrillion, Due Diligence.
That's my favorite. That's a 2-word, so technically that's cheating, but due diligence,
yeah,
that's pretty good.
And then the ones we mentioned last week, Debris, Liquidity, Nefarious, Litigious.
Yeah.
So we're building a list. And then we had the old meme too, which always works.
What you up to? Getting daiquiris. And then the guy says, is that your son?
Daiquiris, because it looks like Dicarius or something.
So that's one that's written, but doesn't necessarily sound like a black name. So we're throwing it in there, though.
All right, our next clip is actually borderline uplifting. Well, it's a sad story, but look what the cop did here. This person had a woman with a knife to her neck, and the cop goes to the window, sees what's going on, and look how he jumps into action.
Jason,
it's okay.
Put the knife down.
No, he's got it. He's got it.
He's got it. Shoot.
I don't got it.
They're taking me to jail.
Put the knife down right now.
Put it down.
Knife down right now. Knife down right now.
Put it down.
Knife down right now.
Put it down. You're going to jail.
Pretty intense.
He saw him, sprung into action, broke the window. He was decorated with Christmas decorations, and he domed him.
He broke the window with his bare hands and just crawled through it.
How about you? Do you relate to the guy who got shot at all?
Why?
Because he's white.
Oh,
you relate to that guy, and you think you need a protest?
Cops is busting in our house and killing us.
It could have easily been me who was holding my girlfriend at knife point. You know?
That's exactly true.
I feel nothing.
All right, let's move on to our next story. We have a woke Boston City councilor, Tanya Fernandez, who was arrested by the FBI for stealing taxpayer dollars. We actually found a clip of her in, Parliament?
At a city council meeting, I would assume. But yeah, this is someone who, Boston, we keep harping on Boston. Michelle Wu, the mayor, who's threatening Tom Homan that she'll protect illegals. And then this woman is an example of the type of city councilor from that city.
She's an illegal immigrant, right?
Yeah, she's an illegal immigrant who's stealing money from the city. And this is the type of contribution she makes at one of those meetings.
People are calling me and telling me, don't say anything, stay in your lane, be quiet, sit down, you will lose your seat, they won't vote for you, fight, don't fight. What the fuck do I have to do in this fucking council in order to get respect as a black woman?
Oh, as a black woman, she needs respect.
Same old tricks, no matter what city it is. And she was an illegal immigrant who was stealing from the city. She just got indicted by the FBI on December 6th for doing kickbacks. She kept hiring family members to jobs that she could get, which is explicitly like against the code of conduct, right? And people like told her like, hey, you can't do that. And then she'd give them a bonus or give them a raise and then make them give her $7,000 cash in the bathroom at the city hall. So she's Muslim too. She's like a Muslim, black, loud, yelling, swearing person who just immediately starts stealing. Remember when Boston was like an Irish Catholic white guy town?
Mm-hmm.
Now it's the Asian mayor who's doing anything she can for illegals and this weird lady who's stealing from people. It's pretty dark.
But she's mad because she's been disrespected and she demands respect. Isn't this what you're up to? Maybe we're right.
Shouldn't you be at Chuck E. Cheese yelling at someone? That's kind of like where your natural state is, right?
Exactly. All right, our last clip of Urban Decay is another example of ungrateful illegal immigrants. These people are doing an interview. I think it's in Spanish, so maybe Rapway can translate as it's happening because there's subtitles. But listen to what they say.
Give you 3 meals a day, a place to sleep. Like what did they give you in the shelter? What were the resources?
La comida y el cuarto, más nada.
Food, 3 meals a day?
3 comidas al día. Sí, pero yo no comía esa comida porque eso era comida congelada.
Ahí nadie se comía esa comida porque eran comida congelada.
Nobody ate
y ahí no había trabajadora social. En esos chetes de allá de Queen no hay.
There were no social workers.
So they were basically saying all they got was 3 meals a day and a place to sleep, which nobody gets anywhere in any country ever.
They're not happy because it was frozen food.
And they said it was frozen food, so she didn't eat that food. So
yeah, that's who we bring here. Then they go on city council and they demand respect while they steal our money.
It's a great path.
For
I
them,
don't blame them for taking that path, but like it's our job to stop them, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's pretty simple.
All right, well, that's the end of Urban Decay. We're moving on now to Uplifting Gold. Don't get too down or too depressed. We have a lot of uplifting stuff today. We're going to go kind of quick, but our first clip is the best golf shot I've ever seen.
This guy's off the fringe of the sand trap, and he hits a flop backwards. And he rolls it in.
Oh,
my God. Something like that, though, I'm like, how many times did they do that before he rolled it in? I wasn't on the course. That wasn't for 2. You know what I mean? He's fucking around.
You do it.
For sure. But I'm not taking away from it. But
RRB the other day played a dream round. He played the best round I've ever seen him play.
Yeah,
he shot like an 80 something.
Yeah, I had a 41 on the front, and then I kind of blew it, and that's good for me. So, like, for some of you guys, that's nothing, you know?
41 on the front's fantastic. Where he kind of lost control of his round, he lost a drive in the sun that wasn't out of bounds. He just hit it and never saw it, and I was, like, on my phone.
Yeah.
So, like, you hit a ball, and you're like, I don't know where it went. It didn't go crazy bad, but I just literally don't know where it went. So then he had to hit another one, hitting 3 off the tee, and that kind of blew up his round.
Yeah, that's the game. When you're like a mediocre golfer, you're just trying to avoid the blowups. And I had 2 birdies on the first like 6 or 5 holes maybe. So it was a dream round. Florida golf during the winter. Come on.
Now's the time. We were putting our time in the summer.
Yeah, you guys are all chilly. You can't get anywhere. Maybe have a turkey, a turkey shoot. But yeah, Florida's nice now. We got good weather. So
we were playing in August and July, and we were the only ones out there.
Paying our dues.
1:00 tee time.
Yeah.
Fucking death march.
Nightmare.
All right, next I found a new pet online, or people with entertaining talents. He's a person with entertaining talent. This is Zakir. He's been really showing me something.
So he's trying to do what? Strongman shit and kind of like feats of strength, and he's starting with ice bucket.
Yeah.
Bend a wrench.
I think
and
he's just
run over your forearm.
Yeah, he was cold. He poured water on himself. Where he made the mistake was the water made the ground slippery, and then the car couldn't get traction, and then it slid in the water, and then that's how he ground up his arm.
Okay, fair.
But pretty strong man shit right there.
Yeah, that works.
Pretty impressive. Okay, next we have this guy who gives you advice.
You just pace back and forth?
Yeah.
Why do you do that?
Because you know, a lot of people lazy. They're just sitting around.
Yeah.
But I'm not that type of people.
Yeah.
I'm different.
So he says a lot of people are lazy, and he, to be not one of those people, he just paces around.
He's different.
He's different. And I don't know, maybe someone will resonate with that and take notes. Maybe if you're sitting around too much, at least walk around the house, and then you're doing something.
Get your steps in, brother.
It counts. All right, next is a very Americana clip. This young person is practicing guitar, and it says, Sultans of Swing Solo by Dire Straits. Ignore the snoring. All right, so
I was unable to ignore the snoring, my friend. It just sounds good. He's picking that. He's doing it.
It's very Americana to be practicing the guitar while someone with sleep apnea in the room during the day is snoring.
Yeah.
All right, our last clip for the whole show. This might not be new, but I just saw it for the first time. It's an Antique Roadshow clip, and I thought it was very funny.
What do you think this is?
I think that it's a slave bracelet. I would like to think that my relatives helped to free the slaves, and that was one of the ones that they freed, or maybe they found. I think that this is the name of the slave holder, and then the name of the slave underneath it. Am I right?
It's a dog collar.
After all that, you have some idea in your head of your family in the past who's freeing slaves. Everyone's such a good person. It's a dog collar.
You invent a whole backstory, and it's a Springer Spaniel the whole fucking time, lady.
All right. Another Fleckus Talks in the books. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. FleckUsTalks.com right now for Bonus Land. 30-minute Bonus Land dropping right now. Go sign up and join. You're going to love it, and it's going to give you a lot of backlog of stuff.
Yeah.
Catalog of all our old episodes during winter, Christmas breaks. You can watch and enjoy yourself. You can have episodes every single day. Sign up now. And I think we're going to work on gifted subscriptions again like we did last year, so you can give the gift of Bonus Land. So we'll look out for an announcement for that. But get your Bonus Land now. Support the show. Help us. Help you. All right. That's it. That's the end of the episode. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you on Friday.